Hey everybody. On today's episode, I'm going to be doing another soup. Now, somebody texted me and they said, I want to do a soup with these ingredients. They only had a few potatoes and some tomatoes, a couple of mushrooms, zucchinis in their fridge, and they said, can I do something with this? And I said soup. And also, some of you have been asking, well, why are you always doing soups all the time? Well, insofar as comfort foods are concerned, they're very versatile. You have a wide variety of soups, and physically, they hydrate you, they nourish you, and they're easy to digest. So, on the physical level, it's just good stuff. You feel good when you eat it. Anyways, here's a zucchini, tomato, and mushroom soup just for you guys. Let's go. For today's episode, we're going to do a zucchini, tomato, and mushroom soup. So to start off with, we're going to need 200 grams of mushrooms. We're also going to need 2 large zucchini. We're going to trim them, obviously. And we're also going to need some tomatoes, about 3 large ones, just like this. We're going to core them out and peel them and seed them later. And a final ingredient, we're going to need 2 potatoes. We're going to peel and shred those up. And for garnish and flavor, we're going to add a bit of green onion, like this green stalk we see here, parsley, basil, whatever you can find. So here we go, preparing the soup. First thing, cut all the mushrooms in half, and then you take each half and you slice them. Just remember to take your time when you're slicing, keep your fingers behind the blade, and try and make your cuts as uniform as possible. If everything is relatively the same size, you should all cook at the same time, and that's what you want, making your cooking life easier. And you should get a whole bunch of slices that look like this. For the zucchini, what we're going to do is we're going to julienne it, or turn it into thin sticks. This is done using an old-fashioned food processor known as a mandolin. You see, you pass the zucchini through it, and you get these nice thin sticks, just like this. But you could use a modern food processor too. Whether it's a mandolin or a food processor, the main objective here is just to get everything the same shape, same thickness, so it all cooks at the same time. Also, it's easier to digest if everything's in small pieces. And we'll do the same thing with the potato. We pass it, run it through a food processor, and we get nice little julienne sticks. Quite easy to do. Now, when you're working with potatoes, they are starchy and they do oxidize. So you can't just leave them out on the cutting board like this. What we're going to do is we're going to put them in some cold water, reserve them until we need them. For our tomatoes, we're going to core them out. You come in at an angle and you remove the core, and then we blanch them. We put it into hot water, and this will help remove the skins. So put your tomatoes in, 30 seconds later you pull it out, run them under cold water, and then you peel the skins. Next step is to remove the center and the seeds. So we're going to take all the seeds, put them in a little container, and then we're going to chop it up. This is known as a tomato concasse. You get the tomato flavor and texture without any of the bitterness or toughness from the central core. So we slice it up into a uniform shape like we did before. We're going to chop up all our tomato concasse, and this will go in our soup. So the first step is to heat 60 grams of butter over medium heat in a saucepan. Put it in there. Next, we're going to add our potatoes, which we've drained from the water, and the zucchini. We're going to put this in with the butter, and we're going to cover it. Cook it for about 6 minutes. After that, we open the lid, put in all the remaining vegetables, our sliced mushrooms, and our tomatoes, and then we're going to cover it again and cook it for 8 minutes. So once that's done, we give everything a stir, we cover it, let it go for 8 minutes, then we remove the lid, lower the heat, let it go for 4 minutes after we added 1.5 liters of stock. Then we take our green onion, some basil and parsley, any herbs that you have around, and you chop them up finely. Now you add your herbs at the very end. This allows for the freshness and the flavor to be increased. Nothing's cooked down. And that's your soup. Earthy, sweet, and lots of good textures in there. And it's just a good old nourishing soup. Now I'm serving this one with some smoked cheese, a bit of hard cheese, and some goat cheese, and some good old multigrain bread. So remember, soup is a good comfort food. Try it out. Share, like, and subscribe. Hope you have a great week.